that. You're about to get sick of the words New York and Walmart, and maybe the word faceplate. And if you're not a fan of me reading excessively long toy titles off the screen, then turn back now, because good grief, is there a lot of them. But it's got to be done, because I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. Little correction from last week. For some reason, I thought the Four Horsemen Studio Mythic Legion's Graveyard Skeletons 4-pack was an in-stock item that would ship out before Halloween. Wrong! It's a timed pre-order window that is open from now to Halloween. It's scheduled to ship Q2 of 2025, so there is kind of a wait. And if you want something more precise, Big Bad Toy Store's pre-order says June 2025. So there you go. I also get to swing around because someone pointed out to me that the extra feet have clawed toes to make it a little bit more monstrous, perhaps to go with the vampire skull alternate head. So there is that. They are different. Either way, I'm okay with talking about these again because I just love grayscale skeletons. Grayskeletons. I don't know why I keep trying that. Plus, it gives me a chance to double back to the Four Horsemen Studio Cosmic Legion's TU5CC. I keep wanting to say Tusk for some reason. I probably should have looked that up before getting in front of the camera, but you know me, research. The TU5CC Heavy Gunner that I missed last week. I don't know how, it was right there with the skeleton announcements. Maybe I thought it was an older release because this is in stock. Maybe my brain kind of saw that to the side and applied that to the skeletons, and then I was like, oh, skeletons in stock, but they're not. This is in stock. You see it, you buy it, you wait a reasonable amount of time for it to go through all the shipping channels, like label created and picked up by transport, and then make its way to your home. I see some of y'all. Oh my God, I just got noticed that it was, why isn't it at my doorstep right now? Don't worry, I get excited about new toys too. I can't blame you. And I know you get tired of me constantly saying, well, I'm new to Legions this and Legions that. So I'm not quite sure how this fits into the Cosmic Legions universe, but I do know that it is some reuse. And that's okay, it's an armored character. You may want a few of them. Army build. And plus, I love the orange and green repaint. I'm not sure if it's an homage to Doom Guy or Master Chief, because that's what it sends through my head when I look at it. Or, holy moly, there's a flashback. There was a figure that I had 20 some odd years ago that was kind of 1/12 scale, green and orange, roundy, bubbly armor. And then the head underneath had the hair like Disco Beyonder. In fact, I think I bought it because of that, and I wasn't really familiar with the character, obviously, because I can't remember what the hell it's called now. Oh, yeah! Reaction Johnny Alpha from the 2000 AD line. Remember that? I know, I had to do it. I had to find out. I know there's no way in hell I'm going to find it at this point. It's probably long gone, but I want to get another one because I also see customs of people replacing the body with Marvel Legends and then sticking that armor on top of it. Easy. Anyway, crawling out of that custom rabbit hole, the TU5CC Heavy Gunner is available right now on storehorseman.com. No limits, grab as many as you want. Moving over to some stuff we've seen before, the NECA BeetleJuice Ultimate Trench Coat with Spikes, Beetlejuice, and Dante's Inferno Room Deluxe set is now available for pre-order exclusively on the NECA store. Boy, I held that point for a long time, didn't I? Because my brain was like, words, words, words. We saw this in their booth at San Diego Comic-Con, and honestly, it is an impressive spread. Well, it's really just a facade, but who has the room for something this large that actually has nooks and crannies that sticks way out, and you can use it as a dio inside too and spin it around and everything. Even if it is fairly flat at 18 inches tall and almost 2 feet wide, this is still going to take up some space. But it would make a hell of a backdrop for the rest of your Beetlejuice display, whether it be from NECA or Mezco or Bandai or whoever else is doing Beetlejuice figures. Something I didn't realize or remember is that it has working lights. So there's batteries, or you can plug it in USB style. And then of course there's the spiky jacketed Beetlejuice that is appropriate for this display. Well, using Beetlejuice and appropriate in the same sentence is kind of but whatever. This also comes with several face plates, and like I said at the first, get ready to hear that word several times, because going over the pictures and thinking faceplate and now saying faceplate out loud, faceplate, faceplate, faceplate. All definition of that word has gone right out the window. It sounds odd when it comes out of my mouth. Faceplate. Faceplate? We also already knew about the SH Figuarts Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker and Mayday Parker because Bandai themselves teased it. But I wasn't prepared for all the options involved. Sure, it's Peter, it's Mayday, but there's several different ways to display each character. I think I questioned the existence of articulation when we first saw Mayday, thinking it might be a slug of some kind that just mounts to Peter's chest in the baby carrier, but no. There's the basics. There's shoulders, there's legs, there seems to be a double neck because you can either have her in that carrier or crawling on all fours. Then she has two heads, one with a spider beanie, the other with just hair let loose. And going back to faceplates, I'm not sure if you can swap the happy or the surprised faces between the two. It wouldn't surprise me if you could, but then it wouldn't surprise me if you couldn't either. So I don't know yet. And then for Peter, you can either have him in the pink fluffy soft goods robe, unmasked head, ungloved hands, slippers, socks at different levels. Kind of a callback to the first movie, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the second movie yet. Or you can have him full Spider-Man. And this looks really good here. Yes, it's Spider-Verse style, but it's just a nice, clean Spidey. And you can't beat that. Pre-orders are supposed to open sometime this weekend. It is Tamashii Web exclusive, so it'll be available in the same places as, I think, Spider-Man India? And I think that was on Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know, I need to double check. But look out! Here comes another Spider-Man. Big Bad Toy Store's 25th anniversary continues to roll on with the Fresh Monkey fiction, the Fresh Monkeys in the Dead Man's Deal Agent Carter codename The Phantom. Y'all just messing with me now, right? You're just trying to string as many words together as you can and throw them into the title of action figures. But I don't mind, it's still talking about action figures. Basically, it's a suave spy chimp in a white tux. That by itself is cool, but then it's also Fresh Monkey fiction, and if Operation Monster Force is any indication, this is gonna be good, because those are good. See where I'm going there? Oh, they make these cool figures. You're making more cool figures? I will check out more cool figures. But it's the description that also gets me, so buckle your seatbelt, change your underwear, because I'm about to read some text again. The Fresh Monkeys, born out of a failed military experiment, are an elite, top-secret combat unit. Each member is uniquely skilled in unconventional warfare and covert operations. So what you're saying is that it's a team of specialists? I'm a sucker for that dynamic. Damn it! I mean, it's a pretty common trope when it comes to these kinds of properties. That's most 80s cartoons, right? And guess what? I'm all about 80s cartoons, so here we are, looking at another toy line. I sure needed something else to collect. Then there's also the Super 7 BBTS 25th Anniversary ThunderCats. Oh, it's been a while for this, hasn't it? Ultimate! Mumm-Ra, the ever-living black and red version. It's Mumm-Ra in a Big Bad Toy Store color scheme. I'm not sure if this is based on anything from the cartoon or comics, or if it's just for the BBTS birthday. I just know that it's appropriate for the occasion. And the character is striking in the black and red. So there's that. If you love Mumm-Ra and different versions of Mumm-Ra, 80s cartoons, of course, brings us to the Mattel Masters of the Universe Masterverse line. A few weeks back, we talked about the vintage collection Skeletor meandering its way out onto the internet, and how it was just the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version in a tweaked color scheme. Seems that is part of Walmart's Collector Con this week, and it's not alone. He brought a friend, or an enemy, I guess, depending on how you think of Zodak. So the vintage collection continues, where they take the original figures and Masterverse them up. Not like the new Eternia sub-series does. That's kind of taking concept art and unused designs and throwing them on the classic design for each character. This is more just vintage figure. hence vintage collection. Well, okay, the 80s toy obviously didn't come with the gun blast effect or the Dr. Stephen Strange spell, but I guess they're throwing extras in too? Not like New Eternia though, because otherwise the helmet and the rig are straight from the vintage figures, just a bit more detailed and shinier. Again, not like a New Eternia. And I'll admit, it's tempting to start yet another collection of MOTU. And I think that's the point. That's marketing, baby. Just another way to make another pass at the full character roster in a slightly tweaked design style. That's not a bad thing. Different strokes for different folks, and it keeps the property fresh and moving forward. It comes down to us to pick and choose. Are you happy with what you have? Or are you not, and looking for something new? Or have you been waiting for something different? Something like this. There we go. That's all we can do. Dang it. No. I'm good with my ever-growing cartoon collection, my classics that I picked throughout the years, and my handful of monster Masterverse. I like the big creature types. Just bleh. But again, this is tempting. While we're in a Walmart CollectorCon state of mind, here is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman and Batmobile from Batman Beyond. That was a lot of B's. I didn't catch a lot of Batman Beyond, so I'm unfamiliar with the vehicle for the most part. When I saw this, I thought, oh, something kind of Star Warsy. I can appreciate that it looks like future Bat tech. I mean, yeah, okay, I recognize Batman Beyond, and I even like the red highlights to kind of accentuate that glow when he's sitting in the Batmobile, which does have electronics, but this just takes it a step further. It's just the vehicle that's kind of lost on me. But not on others, because this sold out super fast. It's Walmart, of course it's gonna be click gone. But last I looked, it was still available on McFarlane's own toy store site. So go have a look at that. But if you're in it for just the Batmobile, you can buy that without the Batman Beyond figure exclusively on Amazon. It's only $10 cheaper. It feels like a better deal the other way. Just go ahead and get the Batman Beyond figure. But I also understand not wanting a figure that you don't feel a mighty need for. Like if you already have a Batman Beyond figure, and there has been a few in DC Multiverse, or don't care for the red highlights on the exclusive version, Batmobile. You already have the figure? And don't listen to me about deals. I'm one of those guys that decides not to get a figure because I don't need it on the shelf. It's unnecessary for the overall collection. I'm good with passing. Oh wait, there's a $5 coupon? I guess I better grab it because, woo, that's a deal. Anyway, lots of Multiverse to go through. It seems Todd's been holding back all month specifically for CollectorCon. Because there's also the Walmart exclusive gold label collector edition Jonah Hex and the General. After all these years, I figured out my he's thinking way too much tale. It's pointing, isn't it? This is the same pack out as the last gold label Jonah Hex and the General, just in a completely different paint scheme. And when I say completely different, I mean completely different. I think the only carryover colors are the weapons and Jonah's undershirt. Even the skin tone is slightly altered. This one is more blue, fittingly enough, for Walmart, while the other one was more gray. Take that as you will. We're not done with Walmart though. There's also the collector edition Legion of Superheroes Lightning Lad. Like I said earlier, face plates, and it seems McFarlane's doubling down on those. I think it started with Huntress, but I don't remember digging too deep into that. That was around San Diego Comic-Con time, and I think I was just like, here's the DC Multiverse Huntress. So much. And I guess the gimmick makes sense. It's less plastic used because it's not a full-on head. That opens up the budget for more options. I will admit, I don't know how well they work. I don't have that Huntress, and I can't see the actual seams here, if they flush or if they're gapped, because McFarlane stopped doing side shots in their promo packages. Huh, that's convenient. No, I always thought those were kind of useless. I never saved them to my archives, and now that I actually want to look at them, they're gone. So they could have been gone for months and months and months, and I didn't notice. I just miss them now because I'm interested in seeing how it fits onto the face. It seems to follow the hairline, go down the jaw, right in front of the ears. It looks good from the front. I just can't tell you what it looks like from the side, or how tight they fit on. I have no experience with this gimmick within the confines of McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. Walmart also has a 2-pack of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Batman Armored Suit, and Nightmare Batman, which is just the first of several figures based on this movie and Justice League. Kind of late in the game, but I guess it's no different than making figures from the Nolan movies, or '89 Batman, or the original Superman movie, as we'll see in a minute. If you miss out on this 2-pack though, there will be general release singles for each character, just with different head sculpts. And I'd argue that the standard releases are more iconic, more recognizable, because the Nightmare Batman, the single release, has the goggles up and the face uncovered, which is how I think of him when I think of him. That's a weird sentence. And then the single armored Batman doesn't have the damage to the helmet, whereas the 2-pack has the exposed eye. That assortment also has a Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Wonder Woman, and then a Doomsday and Superman 2-pack. So, like I said, the big names from the recent movies in figure form on the way to your collection, if you've been waiting for those. We have seen the full spread for Darkseid, who is also Walmart Collector Con. Comes with a throne and a fiery apocalypse backdrop. It's really just the figure that came out 2 or 3 years ago. Different color scheme again. Is the purple more accurate or the shiny blue? It's been a while since I've seen Justice League. Oh, but that first gold label is exclusive to Target. This one's Walmart. I see what you're doing, Todd. Double dipping on sculpts like it's never been done before. Like it hasn't been done dozens of times in DC Multiverse and other toy lines. It's a common practice. I don't know why I felt the need to. Back to collector edition of the general release variety, the next wave kicks off with Simon Baz's Green Lantern. I've never read anything with this character, but I've always kind of liked the costume. It changes things up, you know, kind of like Kyle did. I understand it's Green Lantern, there's a uniform, and it probably should be uniform all the way across, but the constructs are also based on willpower and imagination. And the more imaginative the character, it seems like the more unique his uniform would be, because he'd want to stand out and just be artistic with it. Maybe. I don't know. So yeah, just an interesting take. The Platinum Chase takes it even further with more white to the costume, and then the not Green Lantern logo. There is a lot here I don't know. Mr. Terrific is high on my list though. I love JSA, and this costume was always one of my favorites. The black and white, the red piping on the soft goods jacket that comes off a little baggy, but not bad, really, when you consider some other soft goods in the DC Multiverse line. But then there's the red tee on the face. That must have been after my time with the JSA, but I'm not hating it. In fact, the more I sit and look at it, the more I kind of like it. It fits with the color scheme, which you can say about the black tee on the face too, but the red brings more of that color in to a costume that has a lot of black and white to it. Then they had to go and show the Platinum Edition, which is that more recognizable look, at least for me, for Mr. Terrific. I may wait and see here because I keep running across Platinum Editions at my local Books A Million. I guess I'll play that game. Just pop in every now and then. It's right beside Target, so it's not like it's out of my toy hunting route. Then we're gonna jump back to some Robo Don't Know with the Forever Evil Grid. I have no clue who this is, so all I can speak on is that it is some reuse of the Flashpoint Cyborg Build-A-Figure. At least the legs, the crotch, and the upper arms. I think the forearms, the chest, and the head are new. But don't quote me on that because I'm terrible at this kind of thing. It's just a mean looking mech, which can be useful. The Platinum Edition is the same figure with green metal parts. I have no clue. But then, like I mentioned a minute ago, there is Christopher Reeve Superman, and this works so well in the DC Multiverse aesthetic. I mean, come on, rubber trunks have never felt more at home, right? If I had to gripe, I'd say the wrists are kind of funky. It looks more like a cuff at the end of the sleeve, and then the articulation's kind of lumpy. And then the likeness is good, but it is slightly off. But once again, no smiling head. But that may be because the Platinum Chase Edition has been confirmed to be evil Superman from Superman 3. They haven't released pictures, so I'm guessing it's gonna be this exact thing, darker color scheme to the costume, some streaks in the hair, 5 o'clock shadow, which works perfectly with the alternate head that has kind of that meaner look, plays right to the look of evil Superman. While we're in DC land, Beast Kingdom's showing off some new figures over at the Shanghai Toy Licensing Expo. I know they've done DC figures for a while now, but I never talk about them because they're 8 inches tall and cloth covered. Wait. You know I have nothing against cloth covered, but I wanted to point that out because these don't have cloth. So is this a new line? A different sub-series to their, what is it called? It's called 8 something. That's how much I pay attention to it. And before you pointed out, yes, the capes are cloth. I'm talking about full-on costumes. Body-wise, Kingdom Come Superman and Batman and Composite Superman are just plastic, joints exposed. So I feel like this is an offshoot or something different. Darkseid does seem to be wearing some soft goods though. Maybe some pleather because it is shiny. So it really comes down to scale. Maybe these are still 8-inch because that's what they've been doing up to this point. If nothing else, even if these are still big, that Darkseid looks good. And he's a big character, so it may fit into your current display if you like it. We're waiting, we're seeing, hopefully we'll find out more soon. I mentioned imports. I was browsing through 5K Toys the other day, as I tend to do, and ran across the Xesray event exclusive Balathu up for pre-order. Holy shit, this looks good. I know they've used this body a few times before, like a Rhino exclusive that they had at some event, and then the Minotaurs, which I do have hands-on experience with, and whew, they're just fun. They're a joy to mess around with, and they look tough as all hell on the shelf. To turn that into a cat seems kind of weird in theory. You imagine cats more lithe, more agile, but nope, it totally works here, especially in a gladiator type situation. It's crazy how much a different head and gear will change up the look of a figure. It's a bit more fierce with the cat features. More than anything though, I think it's the photo shoot that won me over. Here he is facing off with the Rhino in the arena. They butt heads a little bit, sizing each other up before deciding to hug it out. I know it's supposed to be the cat ripping the Rhino's jugular out, but I like my version better, where they embrace, they step back, they look at each other, and then they both turn towards the audience and just start ripping apart the humans that put them in this predicament in the first place. Yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking with it. And then of course anthropomorphic figures are going to lead us to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and NECA's showing at New York Comic Con, which is utterly insane. Good gravy, there is a lot. So we're going to go through these quickly. I'm just going to show you the pictures and then move on, because I'm sure pre-orders and pretty promo pictures will pop up at some point in the future, and then we'll talk about them more then. Plus, I'm not familiar with some of these sources, like The Last Ronin. I know the premise, but I don't know what the Night Watcher Turtles are. Is this just the team in the past that go out and watch the night? Same situation for the cartoon characters that they're doing now. They've ran through the mains, and now they're into the more obscure. And I've said it a few times, I don't think I made it much past the first season. So a lot of these just don't trigger anything in my brain. Like Shabano Sama, Creepy Eddie, and Worm are from after my time on the show, I guess. I'm not sure if Tattoo is cartoon or comic, but he's standing beside Worm, so I'm guessing... I'm not guessing, because it would be wrong, more than likely. For Mirage Comics, there's Super Turtle, the Domoids, April, Old Man Raph, and Choate. And then for what I'm pretty sure is Archie Comics, there's a big buff Ace Duck to go with the Stump Wrestlers. And I have to get that because that's been one of my favorite TMNT releases in a good long while. And that is high praise because we have had a shit ton of TMNT over the past couple of years. A lot of good releases. There's also Belly Bomb in cover variant colors, Wingnut and Screwloose, Shredder, and Dark Leo. Damn, Leo has had it up to here with the Ding Dang Foot Clan. All this is just standard fare for NECA though. Yes, it's a lot of new, but it's continuing lines that they've been working on for months or years now. So for something new, they also showed the 2012 Turtles. These were flashed in a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, but they look even better in a case at a show. I mean, they look even better in your hands, but we're getting to that eventually. Like the show, Leo and Mikey have whited out eyes for action, eyes with pupils for non-action scenes, and then a third head for some added personality. Oh, and lots of accessories and character pack-ins like Ice Cream Kitty. I also dig the size difference. No! Didn't I just say that I was completely happy with my stump wrestlers and don't need to start another line of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? But they look so good. And before we get on to other companies at New York Comic Con, I want to throw out a special thanks to Praeternia on X, who allowed me to use his pictures for the rewind. If you're not following him for news and deals, then you're kind of doing it wrong, because he's always right there. If I don't get the news directly from the source, from the company, it's from Praeternia on X, because he's on it. Always. Mezco's also set up at New York Comic Con, and of course they've got some goodies to show. I think Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine was teased in a couple of shots from the Deadpool solicitation, so this is no surprise, but still nice to see. And then classic comic Thor is gonna look fantastic next to the Mezco Captain America. I will point out that the blue pants, being kind of felty fuzzy, does stand out against the rest of the smoothness of the figure, but the rest of the smoothness kind of overshadows it. So, I don't know. It's hard to beat that classic comic head sculpt, though. That looks really, really good. I'm going to point out the fuzzy pants on Conan the Barbarian, too. And that stands out even more because there's less to the rest of the figure, you know? There's less hiding it. There's just some wraps, some fur. There's also the torso and arms being over-textured. Too much skin dimples compared to the head. Brock Sampson brings me right back in, though. What? Doc Savage? That's cool too. Art the Clown totally works in this format, and so does Samurai Jack. And then of course it looks like Rumble Society's gonna continue being rounded out. We saw Tangerine back at SDCC, ain't nothing wrong with getting another look at her. Doc Nocturnal may be getting a dark variant to it, where they remove all the red on the costume, kind of a stealth, kind of a monster that hunts monsters in the night, in the darker night than he was fighting before. We also may be getting closer to a couple of versions of the Frog Butler. So that's looking pretty cool. And don't forget Pepper Press Stopper. Will they release her? Who knows? Find out on the next episode of Doc Nocturnal! Jumping into Hasbro, they covered all of their major licenses in one fell swoop during a panel at the end of Friday at New York Comic Con. So, if this seems awkward here, it's because I'm jumping back in after I've already recorded the rest of the rewind. Have it all edited, and thought, I can't leave out Hasbro, right? So, here we are. Stuffing it in. They started with G.I.Joe, and for digital reveals, there is Footloose. This looks great, but I can't help looking at the head and thinking, oh, fantastic. Pedro Pascal has another role ahead of him. Next up was the Cobra Trench Viper, and there's a lot going on here. G.I. Joe wasn't my main line, so I see the Viper, but then I see some Dio equipment, some bunker, some stuff to throw around in the display. And then pretty cool to get a legacy firefighter, just a real American hero, I guess you could say. This, though, oh, Mass Device Storm Shadow with Bear. This custom has been high on my list for a long time, but I've always thought, as soon as I start it, they're gonna make one, and they made it before I even started, so haha! Wait, is that right? And we know how good the G.I. Joe team is with animals, so this bear should be amazing. I mean, it's even got a panel right here that looks like it swaps out with the other one, and it's got an arrow sticking into it. Oh, battle damage, huh? Okay, I'm there. New pre-orders are gonna go up sometime soon, and I say it like that because I'm jumping straight from the panel, Praeternia posting pictures of the panel out to the studio to talk about them. So I don't know when Retro Rock and Roll is going to go up. Same goes for Retro Dr. Mindbender or the Retro Viper, but they're looking good in their little explosion card back pictures. For name reveals, there's Darklon. I don't know. Have no clue. I know Crystal Ball though, but from looks alone, he's my kind of wacky when it comes to military lines. And of course there's another Snake Eyes in the future. It's Snake Eyes. And version 4 is another interesting look that kind of skews away from the tried and true, if not tired, ninja look. Oh, I said it. And then they ended the Joe part of the panel with a tease of some vehicle beyond my recognition. I'm seeing people say Awestriker, but I don't know. You tell me. For Hasbro Star Wars Black Series, they started off with a new version of Clone Commander Cody. And I guess mine has been standing on the shelf for so long, and it's been a while since I've actually messed with it, that I looked and thought, yeah, great, I already have that. But I'm guessing it's updated. I'm sure it's updated. For one, the helmet's removable, and you can see Cody, and two, ooh, the puck. Yeah, some Order 66 action going on. Walmart exclusive though, which I don't know. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. For Walmart Collector Con, since I'm recording this later in the day, I ordered the Marvel Legends Quicksilver yesterday. Got it today. So, yeah, sometimes they're on the ball, and then sometimes they sell out in 2 minutes and you miss out. So, I don't know. Here's Cody. Then they showed the Skeleton Crew. I don't know what to think of this show yet. It looks like Goonies in space, but I like Goonies, so I'll give it a chance when it comes on, and if I like it, I'll get the figures, and if I don't care for it, I'll pass. I may have to get the My Buddy Max Rebo kid, though, just because. My buddy. Jada Nawood, I'm guessing that's mutilated. I don't know how to say it. I haven't heard it out loud yet, but it's Jude Law in plastic form, so that's kind of cool. I'm excited as hell for Pirate Captain Brutus, though, because it's a wolf man in space, smuggler gear, pirate, I guess, whatever. Actually, now that I think about it, I need this, and it doesn't matter how the show turns out, but I'm getting the Max Rebo kid. So, more aliens for the shelf is always a good thing. The Marvel Legends reveal had a run-up to it, though. It had a teaser. They had a display at a booth at New York Comic Con with X-Men 97 figures surrounding some footprints. And it was pretty obvious that it was a Sentinel. So it wasn't much of a surprise when this popped up on the screen at the panel. We kind of figured they wouldn't repurpose the HasLab Sentinel for this, but that makes it almost more tempting because it looks just like an animated series Sentinel, which in turn makes for a pretty good classic comic book Sentinel when you look at it. And it's kind of army builder-ish. They have swappable pieces for the dome and the face and the chest piece to have damaged Sentinels around on the ground, or different versions, different variations, different levels of damage for Sentinels. And then blast effects. It almost looks like the blast effects we've been getting with the regular Marvel Legends figures for a while now, just blown up. But it is big compared to Marvel Legends. In fact, he's large. He's got articulated fingers to hold up other figures. It's just a cool piece. They're running the pre-order window like they just did with Dragon Man. It opens up today, and then it's going to run to near the end of November. And if you get your pre-order in between now and then, you'll get one. If not, you're out of luck. And it's not bad for $175. The height, the width, the articulation. It's a big old Marvel Legends figure. And since it's not a HasLab and actually a pre-order, they don't charge your bank account at the end of the pre-order window. They charge it when it actually ships. Whenever that may be, next year, probably later, huh? Probably fall. So yeah, dang X-Men 97 just creeping in. A year ago I didn't give a damn. Then I watched it several times, and I need them all. Well, hot dog, look at that. There's some Hasbro Ghostbusters news too. I feel like a HasLab Ecto 1 has been on the table or rumored or wished for a long, long time now. But this week, it's a reality. And it looks kind of like the team went to hell with it. No stretch goals. Here's your options. The regular package, the deluxe package, take it, leave it, whatever. The base model is the Ghostbusters Plasma Series Ectomobile Anniversary Edition. You get the car itself and everything involved there visually. You get a gurney, you get the library ghost, and you get Slimer. Let's see if I'm missing anything, because this is just on the fly. They announced it just now. I'm coming back recording it. So they list hubcaps as removable. That plays into the deluxe in a minute. Decal sheet, library book stack accessory, library book accessory. So there's a stack and then a book. The base model will run you $324.99, but then there's the deluxe model for $399.99. And it seems like a much better deal because you get everything from the base model, plus everything you could ever want to convert the Ecto-1 to the Ghostbusters 2 version. The roof is actually removable to swap all the stuff that is on top of the car. And then I've never noticed it before, but I guess the hubcaps are different because those are swappable too with different versions. On top of that, you get all 4 Ghostbusters in their Ghostbusters 2 uniforms. 4 proton packs, 4 proton streams, 2 slime blowers, and 2 streams for those. Oh, and there's even more because I scroll down the list and there's Ecto-1A red rear bumper with Ecto-1A license plate, so I guess that's swappable too. There's functioning lights on the roof. Is that on the base kit too? Oh, yep, lights and sounds. So that's more added value. And then the deluxe model also lists toaster accessory, hot beverage thermal mug accessory, free balloon for the kids accessory. So yeah, it's loaded. On top of all that, if this funds in the first 2 weeks, there's also a bonus Louis Tully action figure. So there's no stretch goals, but there is an early bird incentive. That also comes with another proton pack, another proton stream, and then the ghost trap and PKE meter. So that's loaded too. Now I can totally see you going for the base model if you already have the previous Plasma series Ghostbusters. There is nothing wrong with that, but money-wise, it seems like going for the deluxe model and then getting all kinds of extra stuff on top of that just seems like a deal. But we've already established that my idea of a deal may not be everybody else's. So yeah, it just started today, and it is already at 2,495 backers of the target 12,000. There's a ways to go. It may be slow, but surely it can get to the goal in 2 weeks. That's just more plastic for your dollars. It must be a busted makes me feel good kind of day, because Mondo revealed their other 2 real Ghostbusters at their New York Comic-Con panel. Both Ray and Winston are looking fantastic. I guess they're not ready to reveal the big ghosts yet, but it's nice to see the other 2 members of the team, because we saw Peter and Egon back at San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, and is this Janine? So they're going to continue the line past the 4 Ghostbusters and accompanying ghosts. Interesting. I think I did read somewhere that Venkman will be going up for pre-order in the next couple of weeks, maybe? We know that these are going to be expensive, but let's see what happens, see how it's offered, go from there. Jada gets to be the closer this week because while I'm excited about a lot of other stuff we saw this week, oh man, they are hitting me right in the feels, right in the nears and dears. Their cereal mascots line takes all of my favorite things: food, bright colors, and commercials targeted at impressionables, smashes it all together, gives me some sweet, sweet plastic. But showing Fruity Pebbles Fred Flintstone and Cocoa Pebbles Barney Rubble at New York Comic-Con adds another layer to that, which would be classic cartoons. Oh man, that makes it even better. They were already good, they were already great, even better now. And it's not even because I care about either cereal. In fact, I could probably count the number of times I've had Fruity Pebbles, and I don't think I've ever had Cocoa Pebbles, but it's because of that classic cartoon tie, and it being Flintstones, that I am there day one, pre-ordering, done, in. Because I could say the same about Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and Count Chocula. I don't care for marshmallows in my cereal, so I've never had those, but man, as ad icons, as cereal mascots, as breaks in my cartoons as a kid, it's right here. It's ingrained. I must have figures of them. Now, the shapes and designs of the characters don't lend themselves to action figures as well as like Tony the Tiger or Chester Cheetah, but it seems Jada did a damn fine job here. Fred is a bit angry in the display, but I gotta think there's alternate heads, like all of the other cereal mascot releases so far. To be fair though, Barney did piss him off a lot in those commercials. It was always just, Barney! The big question I'm seeing is if this will lend itself to other Flintstones releases. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the licensing situation and all that, but these are being released in the cereal mascot line, so I gotta think that that's the only reason they're able to make them. I don't think we're gonna see Betty or Wilma or Dino or anybody else. I mean, we can hope, and if it happens, cool, hey, gimme. But if this is the only two we ever get from Flintstones, then this is the pair to get. And then of course I'm gonna finish it off with one of my most anticipated lines in recent history. Now, you know I love my Star Wars, my Marvel, my other nostalgia tug type toys. But man, to finally get a 1/12 scale, super articulated Scooby-Doo line, Jada came out of the gate swinging. This Scooby-Doo line has me downright giddy because it's something I've been asking for years. So much so that I've ventured out of my comfort zone several times and bought less than figures. You know, less than properly painted, less than adequately articulated, less than sufficiently scaled. But I went with it because I figured it would be a long time before any company gave us a collector grade gang. Now it's just unfolding before our eyes. For a recap, at San Diego Comic-Con, they showed Shaggy, they showed the Mummy, and they showed the Creeper. Now at NYCC, they're showing Shaggy in the package, which means, oh man, that's one step closer to being in my grubby little hands. And somehow, this looks even better than the prototype. Maybe it's the shading because it's in the box or something, but give me this right now. We also get another look at the Creeper, but this time he's unmasked to reveal Mr. Carswell. I love that the mask is stretched out just like in the episode when Scooby grabs it and just... But then there's Scooby himself. Oh, did I say I was in? Because I'm in. Oh, man. I'll do it twice. That's what I think of these. And that's all I have so far. Remember, early Friday. New York Comic-Con still going on. We will swing back around. As always, special thanks to the Nobots, the Patreon. I wouldn't be able to do this without their help, without their support. And this week, what did we look at? Oh, I'm still plugging away on Phoenix Customs. Rachel. Both Excalibur. Well, I guess she wore the classic costume in Excalibur 2, but that was after my time. But I got the parts. I went ahead and did it. Yeah. I'm pretty happy. And I've got a creak in my floor too. Because I stand in the same spot every week. I had the same thing happen whenever I was in the house. Now that I'm in the shop, I thought, oh, brand new floor. But after a year. Again, special thanks to Preternia on X for letting me use his pictures from New York Comic Con. Veeves and I were this close, and we do it every year. We need to go to New York Comic Con. And it seems this year is more toy-centric than past years. So I wish we would have went, because it would have been my first New York Comic Con too. I've been at the Javits for Toy Fair. I always get to this point of New York Comic Con and regret that I didn't go. Someday I'll go take my own pictures. But then I wouldn't be able to stand here in front of the blue screen on the squeaky floor. I'd be in a hotel room going, so tired, so old. But anyway, love you. Bye.